Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people. Are you someone who is affected a lot by public opinion? Are you someone who's trying to fit in? If you are in either of these two categories, or you belong to the third category, who silently gets affected but pretends that they are unaffected, a very warm welcome. This video is for you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to Evolving Consciousness. Today's video is going to be talked about via a story, via a narrative, wherein we'll get into this root essence, we'll get into this root thought process of why do we get affected by public opinion. Now let's be honest with ourselves. Every one of us in some point of time has been affected by public perception of us. We are always trying to showcase a image, a certain kind of a flamboyant image which showcases our superiority. We are always trying to please the world so that everyone has a great perception of us. Today's video is my humble attempt to talk about these paradoxes of the human mind. So let's talk about the story. There once lived two monks. Now the two monks were positioned in such a way that there was, let's call him Monk A. Monk A was positioned just below a hilltop, whereas Monk B was positioned over the hilltop. And all the people who were traveling across that area would obviously reach Monk A first, would visit Monk A first. For spiritual discourses, of course, that's the reason why you go to a monk. And this Monk A person would first tell the people who visited him, when they inquired about the whereabouts of the monk B, they would say that that person is not a good monk. He is the most corrupt. He is probably a man who is an absolute fraud, a rascal of all sorts. So this was the nomenclature. This was all the great attributes, all the criticisms which the monk A could think of monk B, was sort of served in the plate for all the spectators. Now, after listening to Monk A's narrative, obviously nobody went there. So Monk B was all alone. Not many people visited him. One fine day, one person did not pay heed to this person. And he said, "It's okay, it's your narrative, let me just go and explore." And to his absolute surprise, to the contrary, this person witnessed an absolutely different scene. He sees that the monk B, who was portrayed to be a vicious man, was actually the most serene saint he ever saw. His body, his demeanor exuded tranquility. There was bliss pouring across his face. One could feel the positivity in his aura. And he was taken aback, and he felt that such a great opportunity was missed by the people who were visiting this place, because they succumbed to that thought process which the other monk down the cliff was selling to the people. The monk B, this person told the particular monk on the hilltop that, "Sir, the monk downstairs or the monk down there, he's talking all crap about you, he's selling all false images about you." Now this monk, with a brief smile on his face, tells him, "I really love and respect this monk who's down there." Now he gives a deep spiritual answer. He says that someone is bad mouthing me. He's doing me a huge favor by reducing my karmic burden. He's serving as a very free way of destroying my karmic imprints or karmic baggages. Because people who have read the spiritual texts understand to burn karmic baggages is a great form of penance. It's not easy, it requires a lot of hard work and discipline and austerity. And this person is providing me with such a free narrative, such a effortless narrative. He's burning all my karma for me. In essence, he's taking all the karmic load on me. The onlooker, the spectator, was taken aback and he prostrated in front of this monk because of his great sense of wisdom and insight. Now, there's a deep story, deep message for each one of us in this story. The fact remains that we all are so much affected, are so much bound by what the other person is thinking about us that we lose ourselves. It's a very funny thing. If you observe this, our best photos are our social media profile pics, and our real photos are our Aadhaar card, our passport photos. Isn't it such a hypocrisy? Now, the point I'm trying to drive here is, let us be honest with ourselves. When we are trying to portray this great image, is it just because we are trying to sell a narrative? Is it just because we are trying to please the other person? And if you closely investigate this narrative, you'll realize that people don't think about us as much as we think they think about us. Because everyone is essentially like us. Everyone is only thinking about themselves. They probably are thinking about you because you are in some way related to them. Hope you are able to get this deep and subtle point I'm trying to make. And the reason this concept needs to be talked about is because we are lying in this, each one of us in some level or the other is affected by public perception. And that might seem very natural way to be, that might seem a very social way to be. It has devastating effects. Because if you're not being honest with yourself, if you're not being authentic with yourself, you are just trying to fit in with the world's image of how you should be. You are doing a great disservice to one person in this world, and that one person is you yourself. There is a phenomenal book which I am recently reading. It's called The Courage to be Disliked. It's written by a Japanese author, and the book's content is phenomenal to say the least. It is unlike anything I have read before. It is based on the premises of Adlerian school of thought, where it takes responsibility of what is coming under our purview of tasks and what is not. And what is not coming under our purview of tasks is managing public perception. No matter what you do in this world, no matter how much good you do in this world, there are people who are going to be your sharpest critics. There are people who are going to belittle every activity which you pursue. And if your propulsion system or if your motivation depends on outside stimulus, whatever you are doing is going to die a quick death. Because now your stimulus, your source of inspiration, your fuel is dependent on outside stimulus. The fact remains that Lord Krishna and Lord Rama were not spared by the world. So how can you even expect that the world will spare you and me? The point I am trying to drive through this example is, we all should stop getting affected by public perception. The only thing we need to be focused on is our own conscience. Public perception, public opinion matters very little at the end of the day. Even if you look at legends, everybody didn't have a great image of these legends all the while. One hit, one flop here and there, and the public images crash lands. And the fact that we are all so much succumbed to this herd mentality. There's a beautiful quote which I recently read. It said, dogs and hyenas survive in groups. They always come in groups, but lions walk alone. Now there's a very deep point that quote was trying to make. The top 5% doesn't think about how I can fit in. The top 5% always thinks in terms of what value they can deliver to the world. And the world is going to take their things in their own subjective reality. You are only going to see the things which you want to see. Now, this is a deep point again. Whatever we see in this world, it is what we want to see. There's a beautiful story, another story in this context which I would like to share. In a certain village, there were 3 bandits. Bandits are people who are gone like violent people, right? So they sort of loot people. They have violent, provocative ways of looting people. And so it so happened that they looted a particular family in a village setting. After that, they kidnapped the particular lady out there and they took her with their with all the things which they had looted. And the lady was terrified. So she succumbed to their will and she went with them. These bandits got into a mode of alcohol. They were intoxicated because they have this habit of alcohol. And looking at this opportunity, the lady thought that this is a great chance for me to escape. So she escaped from that place. And she goes and meets one person there who seems to exude a lot of peace, bliss. There is not a trace of craving, desire, or discontent. It almost was she encountered Buddha. And at that time and age, there was only one person who was equivalent to the caliber of Gautam Buddha, and that one person was Mahavira. The lady told, "Are you the great Mahavira?" Mahavir confirmed, "Yes, I am." And she explained the entire situation she is currently in. And Mahavira told that she probably can consider his place there as a safe haven for her. So the bandits came looking for her and they posed this question to Mahavira saying that, "Did you see a lady here?" Now for an enlightened being, there's a lot of problems here. Because an enlightened being is not supposed to lie. And if he says the truth, he's going to expose the lady, and the lady is probably going to be killed by the bandits. So Mahavira takes a clear and a clever stand. He says, "You see only what you want to see. You see only those things which you want to see." And the bandits, the illiterate bandits, were clueless. What the hell is he babbling? Then Mahavira goes on to say that you just came along this route, and in this route there were many things which you were missing around. There were the trees, there were the roots, there were the leaves, but probably your attention was not there. You came straight looking for that lady. The same way, I have lost the sight of whether I see a man or whether I see a woman. I see only the soul. And the bandits were absolutely speechless. They didn't know what to tell for that. And the story goes on to say that the bandits were completely transformed after that day, and they led a life of non-violence and purity. The point I'm trying to drive through this video is this. Firstly, understand the futility of trying to fit in, to trying to appease the world. Because if you think about it, potato, right? Potato is a vegetable which is liked by most vegetarians. And potato is not very well known for its nutritious functions. It's mostly known for the side effects and the problems it brings in the health because we consume it not in the right ways. So the point is that don't try to become a potato, trying to be liked by everyone, because there's no one who's going to like you 100%. Not everyone are going to like you, and that's okay. The fact is you need to be authentic to your own self, and the day you do that, one person is going to be happy, and that one person is you yourself, and that is the only thing which matters. Thank you so much for your time on my video. If you really love the video, do share this video with a couple of your people who are sort of infected by this people pleasing syndrome. Thank you so much, and I'll meet you in the next video. Bye.